talk about the Fort Worth Stock Show results. And I know there was a really cool looking white steer that won the show and brought, what did he bring? 340,000, I think. But
something like that. That steer show is impressive. I think it was one of the small classes. I don't know if it was the light class or which one it was, but it was literally top 10 head were all white steers.
Isn't that
Like
awesome?
all of them.
That is awesome.
And for people that don't know, and I don't know that much about it, those classes, there's literally 80 head, I think, in a class on the average, or around there, maybe 70 to 80 head. And so they lead in, and I believe what happens, and I've never actually even watched it, I should probably, but somehow the judge pulls out what he thinks is his top 10 or 15 or whatever, and then he gets them down to, like, I think 10, and I think 10 then makes the sale, I believe.
Wow.
So it's phenomenal. They say if you get branded, they get the jaw brand to make the sale, and just crazy. I mean, I've seen my Facebook feed was full of people that, either sold calves or their kids or whatever have you made the sale. And I mean, what a cool experience. So
were you the contending bidder on that? Did you bid up to 330,000? No?
No, but I did watch a video of Mason LaFeiste's steer sale, and it went from $1 a pound to $12 a pound, I think, really quickly. And I can't remember who bought it, but it was something like a pipeline company or something like that bought the steer for $12 a pound at 1,090 pounds. He was a lightweight Charolais colored steer, and I think that equated to like 20 some thousand. So
wow,
good for them. Yeah,
that's a good day. That's a good day's work.
Yeah, well, I mean, you know how much work it is to put into them things, and it's a steer, so it's like, a couple thousand plus in feed, maybe, and whatever you paid for the steer, or the task of raising one, and but a cool show. Yeah, that's kind of that now is on my bucket list to maybe watch one in person, because
that would be fun. Yeah,
sounds totally impressive for sure.
Yeah. So how about the Charolais side? How about the open show, or what do you got pulled up there for results?
I've got the open show only, but Fort Worth Stock Show and Rodeo National ROE show. That was 27th of January. Chris Sankey from Council Grove, Kansas, was the judge. He judges a fair amount in our area. Just he's within reach of a lot of shows around here.
Yeah.
But the grand champion female and junior female went to FFF Snowflake. And she was a resource. And that went to Camden Filippo of Rush Springs, Oklahoma.
Congrats.
Yeah, she's a beautiful looking bred heifer. I mean, she's definitely, I'm assuming, going to their donor pen if she hasn't been there already.
Yep.
But definitely could go a couple different ways with that female, the way she looks. Reserve was the senior calf champion, and I know this one fairly decent. It was RF Miss Mara, and she was out of Boy Outlier, and that went to Trace Ritter from Herman, Missouri.
Right on.
That heifer's done well already. She was reserve open female there at the American Royal in Kansas City at a really, really highly competitive show, which I know this one is too. So yeah, she's a fall heifer that's definitely stamping her stake. So pretty cool.
Congrats to those winners.
Yeah. The Grand Champion Bull and Junior Calf Champion Bull went to Bar S Power Max by Keys Power Max, and that was Bar S Ranch, Paradise, Kansas. I believe that bull was up in your area and was champion in one ring, I believe, and so he's kind of coming along. Yeah, he's coming along nicely.
Yep.
Looks like.
Yep.
So big old beef bull. Reserve Grand Champion Bull was LHR He Ain't No Saint, and that one was by TSS St. Christopher, and that was McGuire Roar. The War family.
Congratulate to the Roar family. That's awesome.
Albert, Colorado.
Nice looking bull.
He is. You know what? In Denver, he won his division, and I've seen that bull a few times. I believe he was in our class at Junior Nationals even. And maybe it's a different bull. I don't even know. They could have a couple bulls on the road, but he looked awesome in Denver. He definitely, you could see he was hitting his peak or stride or looking as good as he had for a while. So
right.
I believe it's a big show. I don't know the exact numbers, but Texas is one of the largest states for Charolais registered cattle, and it definitely draws from surrounding, obviously Colorado, Kansas. Yep. So Missouri, totally. Yeah.
Yep.
So that would be an impressive open show to watch too, I think.
Yeah. I'd love to go. It's just we just get back from Denver and then kind of start thinking about calving, and it's like, man, alive, to go traveling again. I didn't have it in me.
Yeah. But, some friends of ours that used to show Bronve, they would show at Denver and they would go back home, reload the trailer, and head the same day, I think, down to Fort Worth. It's like, that is a lot.
It is, especially after this year's drive.
Well, and those cities can wear on you,
No. I do. I agree with you. Denver isn't really user friendly. Yeah, the roads and construction.
Well, you never know. You can drive the same, stretch of 5 miles, and it might take you 10 minutes one day, and the next day it can take you 30, and you're like, holy crap, what is?
Oh yeah,
and the people drive like idiots, and unfortunately, it's no different in Texas. Those people are nuts.
I don't think I shared this with you. Our little adventure getting down there, and then we were heading out to the fairgrounds, and one of my side panels, which I have hooked to the side of my chute, I hit a bump there in Denver, a nice bump in the middle of the road, and the side panel fell off one end of it.
Oh my God!
Sparks flying down the freeway.
And I heard
people were honking.
And I'm like, what in the world is this? That sound? And then I look back and I got sparks along my trailer, and I'm like, oh, that's not good. So, and then try to get pulled over along on the freeway with the semi riding up behind you. I mean, it was not an easy situation. Finally got pulled over. I mean, this isn't amongst of all the situation we had to get in there. I'm like, just add it to the course, and then we get unloaded and at the fairgrounds, and which was fine. Then we get to our Airbnb, and we go to finally lay down and crash. Well, they forgot to clean the Airbnb.
Oh, shit.
And I'm just like, and at that point, all Cora and I could do was just kind of laugh.
No, you were livid. I was the one laughing.
I was just like, and then next day, I was like, well, I think we got it all out of our system. So yeah, it's going to be a good day.
You know what? I was awfully surprised. The last couple big shows or, longer stays we've been at, it seems like you might get housekeeping maybe a couple every other 2 or 3 days, but Embassy Suites, they were on top of it. It was every day, fresh towels, new soap, everything was vacuumed, and I was like, heck yeah. And the rates were pretty good, and the drinks were awfully good for being free too at night. So
that is the key. That is the key.
It
definitely you need any more at the night.
Yeah. Well, the weird thing is record low temps in Denver for the Denver Stock Show, but the front desk actually had half the portion of the front desk closed down and had a plastic over their computers and everything because it was so cold right there at the front desk.
Oh wow.
And I don't know if they weren't working or if the snow was blowing in maybe and it was getting them wet or what. But every morning when you went down for breakfast, you were in full dress because it couldn't have been more than about 50 to 60 degrees down at breakfast. I would say closer to 50 because, I had, full on snow pants and 2 coats, and that was just comfortable.
Yeah.
So,
we all survived.
Yeah. Yes, we did.
So speaking of weather, things are warming up a little bit, and people are starting to calve, and so everybody's been thinking about calving. We do get some questions quite a bit about what do we give our calves when they're born. So how about we give a little bit of redneck calving tips. So not saying what we do is correct by any means, but I'm sure everybody has their own way of doing things.
Yeah.
But maybe we'll help someone out. Maybe we'll give some ideas, and you know, maybe there's some other ideas out there that people would like to share on, that things they have on hand for calving. So I guess I'll go right in and, first thing we give our calves is when they're born, we give them a little Right Start Plus supplement gel. Kind of helps with scours and other things. And we've been doing that 2 or 3 years now. Really had a good luck with it. And then we iodine their navels. And a lot of times when we bring this up, everybody thinks, well, everybody should know that. But there are some folks out there that are learning. And so we are here to help them out. So iodine the navels. And then we give a shot of Bosi because we are in a selenium deficient area. So check with your vet on the dosage on that. And then we also give 8-way. I know some people, going back one step, I know some people give multi-min when they're babies, but we go ahead and get the Bosi, which is vitamin E and selenium. Mm-hmm. And then we do the Ultrabrac 8 at the 5 dose. I've been told by somebody, don't know if it's true, but the 2 dose doesn't get the clostridials as well as the 5 dose 8-way. So we've switched to using the 5 dose. So don't have any proof one way or another on that, but and then also weigh the calves. So everybody's got a certain way of weighing them, and some people use the measuring tape, and we've resorted to a hanging scale that we hook into the receiver hitch of our gator, and then hang the calves that way to weigh the calves. So that is if the cow isn't blowing up your hiney, but it does work pretty good. This kind of makeshifted little thing that has this little hanging scale, goes around the back, hooks into the receiver of the gator, and you can weigh those calves. So, but on hand, we have, some colostrum, because like yesterday we had a set of twins, so we had to yank one off. And so always have some colostrum on hand. Frozen stuff from another cow is great, but if you don't, we have the little bags of colostrum. I can't remember, Clostrix, I believe it is. Mixes real easy. And so make sure you have, a bottle and, good. I like the screw on nipples. I go on the bottle. I don't like those pop on ones. They seem to sometimes, when calves are getting older, they'll pop off, and those calves get playing with it, and then all of a sudden you're covered in milk. But so the screw on ones seem to work a little better. I should talk about the gauge and needles that we use given the babies. So I like a 20 by 1 or 20 by 3/4 or even an 18. I think 22 is a little small for my taste, but I know some people use 20s or 22 gauge ones, but just those little things that might help you folks out there. So what's on your list of stuff? Oh, and have some OB gloves available. So
yeah, we're pretty similar. First when we when they're born, like the other day we had it's been 2 weeks almost, but we had a heifer that had a calf with a foot back, and he was big enough. I mean, he was pretty big. He was 85 pounds, I think, when we scaled him. So plenty big, but she was a big heifer. But it was kind of a tough pull just because she kept going up, down, up, down, up, down. And we had her in the calving chute. What we like to do is pretty much every single cow or calf we get in the pulling chute or the calving chute, we put a rope halter on them, and we tie them instead of putting their heads in. So we had her on a rope halter, which she was halter broke. And she went up, down several times. If we would have had her head in the head gate, that would have been terrible. Maybe she would have stayed up better. I don't know, looking back, but I doubt it, because it was me pushing that calf back in to get that leg turned around. Every time I got it to just barely about flip that leg, she'd go down. So the calf had enough stress. We got him out, and he kind of laid there. He was upright and kind of could hold his own head, looked pretty good. We left her be for a little while. And I went back after a couple hours after she kind of licked him off, which initially I didn't think she was gonna, because she's like, hell with this. But she did. We just got out of there, let her do her thing. And I ended up drenching it, the calf with colostrum. I usually don't bottle, nipple feed colostrum that much, because it's always cases like this calf. He wasn't going to suck the bottle.
Mm-hmm.
So we use the tuber with the collapsible drench tank, I guess you would call it. And we always do like a half of dose. We never really ever do a full dose. The only time we ever do a full dose is if we do pull a calf off. We always split it in half. We give them, half dose at a time, because them calves ain't that big. I just, that's a lot to push into their stomach and try to not drown them. And then this year, I've used the Therapies a little bit, and I was reading the label, and initially I bought it for going to Denver, to give the heifers Therapies, just because they say it just helps with the stress of hauling them so much better. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to try it with this little guy.
Mm-hmm.
I drenched him, a little bit of Therapies on the nose. You're supposed to do a little bit on the back of the neck. And my God, if I didn't go back there 10 minutes later, and it was like a different calf.
Really?
And yeah. And we had 2 born that morning. And the one I thought was pretty active. She had it by herself. Same sire, pretty much about the same make. They're both half Charolais heifers. And that one that we pulled that had the foot leg, the back, it was, and it could have been the colostrum, but I mean, that other one was up and sucking right away, and that cow that heifer had a beautiful udder. But so I don't know if that had anything to do with it, but it, I'm sure going to give the rest of them that. They got a little stress.
Right.
We typically will wait a day, maybe sometimes 2 days to tag them. We pretty much wait almost a day, almost all the time, to weigh them. Just because I hate trying to handle them too much, where ours are all in tight quarters. So we can get a hold of them. They're not out on a 10-acre pasture or something until maybe about 2 weeks from now when we get back from Kearney, because it's so damn muddy here. We're probably going to start calving up. Yeah.
It's muddy here too.
But then, so when we tag them, I do a full-size tag in them. Some people like the smaller baby tags, but I do a full-size tag.
We do too. I forgot about to mention that. We do tag them right when they're born. Yep.
Yeah. And then we do a 7-way with Haemophilus. So it's basically kind of an 8-way. Multi-man, and then I do the nasal gin with PMH, nasal gin 3 with PMH. I did see on the internet somebody was asking about giving nasal gin, and everybody's like, yeah, we give, whatever. There's a couple different brands. I mean, it's not, I know nasal gin does have one more mode, or a couple different modes of action than a couple of the other ones, but a lot of people are like, oh no, we don't do that, or you're not supposed to. Well, one vet got on there, don't give it to calves. I've seen what happens. And I'm like, God, I give it to over 100 of them, probably 300 of them in the last couple of years. And I assumedly never had any problems. But so multi-man, we do we spray the navels with iodine, just the squirter it comes with. We douse them down pretty good.
That's what we do. Yep.
Yeah, a couple, 2 or 3 bottles. If it's really muddy, man, I really cover the a good amount of the belly so it drips down for a while. But the one guy's like, oh gosh, don't give it to newborns. It's not labeled for that. And I've seen what happens. From the couple reps I talked to on a couple different one of those nasal products, they just say that you might not get the same effect if you don't wait till they're 10 days old. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. But the reason we have started doing that is here in Nebraska, it can just all of a sudden be 70 degrees in end of March, April, coming from freezing at night, and then all of a sudden you'll get a week where it's in the 70s, and we get horrible pneumonia. So we get them calves protected right away. It's cut down on, one year I think I treated 40 calves from the beginning of April to almost the middle of May, with pneumonia. And that just,
Wow.
and they just
That's
never,
not fun.
no, they never do good. You always get 2 or 3 that just never really pop out of it. We would lose 2 or 3 or 2 a year probably. And it's never the worst ones. It's always the big bull calf or the nice big heifer that you're like, oh yeah, look at that thing. Look what we did this year. But so yeah, that's kind of what we do. We definitely keep colostrum and then electrolytes too.
Yep. Enterolite HE is what we do. And
yeah, yep. We use that one quite a bit. And that dissolves so nicely. But
yes.
But what a lot of people don't realize is the cold weather that we had and everybody had here in January. When those calves get cold stressed, they need electrolytes more than you would think. You're like, oh, geez, they're cold stressed. They're laying around. They're dehydrated. Their bodies are working so hard. It's worse than them being in the heat almost, because their bodies are, they're just working so hard. They need to be rehydrated. And I never really thought about that till, I don't know, 10 or 15 years ago, something like that. We had a bad snap and we were getting them calves that got cold stressed. And I'm like, what is the deal? I put it in the calf warmer. It got warmed up. It seemed like it was doing all right. And my sister-in-law's vet, she's like, you need to give it electrolytes. And I'm like, what? It's freaking cold outside. Why would we need to give electrolytes? How would it get dehydrated? Yeah, their bodies are working so hard. It's it's the same as them out having a pneumonia out in the heat. So yeah, that is a huge thing. It can snap them back. But we use the Right Start Plus. There's several of those gels. I mean, for what calves are worth, and the ruminant studies out there that say, the faster them calves can build a good ruminant, the better their whole lives are going to be. That's something to look into. There's gels, there's paste, there's liquid, there's whatever it may be. And
we totally should have had a drench bag there in Denver, so we could have drenched you with some Enterolite HE.
I just told somebody the other day. I said, I don't know if I drank a bottle of water the whole time I was there. They were always frozen.
Oh yeah. See, I don't know if you'd want that stainless steel tube or you'd want the soft one that we can shove down you. So
probably the nipple.
That's funny.
But yeah, there's all kinds of things. Now in the Midwest here, we're under major mud pressure. It took us a long time to figure out that we need to have a calving or a turnout pasture. A lot of people we call it dry lot, but it's not dry lot in the wintertime in Nebraska. It's mud lot. If can get them things out, because you will have a lot less problems calving.
Exactly.
When they can be on like even ours, the pasture's growed up. It's like the whole thing, the whole little 10-acre pasture or whatever it is, it's probably closer to 15, is all growed up in waist high grass. So
oh wow.
As soon as we get back from the Cattlemen's Classic in Kearney, when we don't have to have hired help watering the cows and running through, checking a bigger area, I just feel more comfortable not having the help, having to keep track of cows on 15 acres where they can go to the pens. And we're not that, we've got 7 or 8 calves right now, and looks like we could get a couple more tonight, and 5 or so more by the end of the weekend. So maybe we're not going to have a bunch. So
maybe you'll be blessed with twins like I was yesterday. And
this
cow had twins 2 years ago. And actually one of them was in our Denver Pinna 3 Bowl. So she had 2 heifers this time. So
yeah, my one of our favorite cows last year had twins, and she was open, but it didn't bother me too bad because I was planning on flushing her, and she had them in March. So now I can move my flush up a little earlier. So
you'd be good to go.
Go.
So that gives you a good snapshot for our listeners on some calving tips. By no all means are we the experts, but maybe some of that would help out. So we do get a lot of questions on what we're doing, what we're vaccinating, and what have you. But if you have all those supplies on hand, it's a good idea to have them, because you never know when you might need any of that stuff. And we do keep new floor or Draxon on get around and oxytocin and banamine and all that stuff just in case things happen. But
yeah, and I'll do like here the other day we had a first calved, and for whatever reason she wants to keep her damn heifer right by the hay feeder, and none of the other calves
we
are
got
there.
one of them doing that.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and it's muddy and it's horrible. So when I tagged that calf, I gave it a shot of LA 300, and back to the needle size and everything. Honestly, I use 16 gauge needle. I use the
wow.
I use the 1/2 inch 16 gauge needle because everything is under the skin, and then I actually give my shots under the front leg.
Mm-hmm.
So when I flip the calf over, you're holding the leg, boom, right in that leg socket there. It's under the skin. You're never going to see a lump there. And it's not going to lump because there's so much open area.
Yeah, we do that with the 8-way. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good spot to do it.
It is, and it's labeled for that. I mean, I made sure I asked my vet. I'm like, hey, you can give it under the leg, right? And they're like, yeah. And so we did away with a lot of them stupid, nasty lumps. One year we were doing a wormer, and this was when we go out to grass, and we had a bunch of abscesses out of it. I don't know. I think we got a bad batch of something because I mean we're pretty clean freaks on the needles and stuff there, but
just throw them away. Needles are cheap.
Needles are cheap. I use disposable syringes. I mean, I don't use a new needle and new syringe every calf, but I don't use too many.
Exactly.
So
well, that gave you some calving tips. So I guess if you want to go on to our next subject. I guess.
The Clift Livestock sale coming up.
So we got our bull sale Friday, February 16th. And this year, or last year, I should say, we were 80% heifers born. So bull numbers are down, but the quality is up. So, but not then. There's not much you can do about when you just have a heifer. It's
right.
like I think at one point wasn't there 6 or 8 of them in a row, and I'm like,
it was nonstop.
It was like crazy, but
I was the same way.
Oh, it was just amazing, and
starting out this.
We're starting the same way, but so our sale is going to be here at the place, and starting at 1 o'clock our
12.
time. No, 12's lunch.
Yeah.
1 o'clock the sale's starting, and it'll be on DV auction timed event, so you can go on DV auction and bid online, and more than likely you'll close round 2. So it was what I told those guys. I don't want an all afternoon, go to 4 or 5 stuff. Let's try to get close this out between 1 and 2. But
right,
pictures and videos are on DV auction. You can go on there under the timed event section, and the bulls will be here at the house next week to preview on Wednesday. So if you want to stop by, and for the people around here, they can come. And if you don't want to bid on DV, we'll have people here that will be set up with computers that will be able to bid for you.
If you can't make it, you can call one of us.
Yep. There'll be calling any one of us. We'll have 2 or 3 people here that can handle the bids and shipping. Don't worry about shipping. There's people traveling from here to all over the place all the time. So we have a good friend that's in Utah that is moving cattle all over, but freight's usually not an issue. So
yeah. And just to clarify, anybody can log on to DV auction that has an account and bid, correct?
Yep.
And so it's just like any other online sale, except you guys are having a little open house there where your customers can come and they can bid in person to somebody that's on the computer, but or anybody could, if they don't have a DVI, because sometimes I've gotten caught like that before, like, oh crap, I don't have an account, and then you try and get an account and then you can't get approval or whatever the case may be. It's no worries, just call one of you guys and we can log up and bid in your behalf, so not a problem if you're not signed in. So it's a new format. We've never done it this way. We've always done a live auction, but just with the
the way our numbers were this year, we just decided to do it at our place. And
Yeah.
I know several people, Charolais breeders, are using this DV auction format, and it seemed to work very good for them. And so we're going to give her a whirl. And,
Yeah. Absolutely. Well, let's just go in catalog order. Let's do lot
sounds
one
good.
to start. So lot
Alrighty.
one,
Lot
travel
one.
agent.
Yep. So we have several bulls this year that are out of CCC Cheetah, which is a bull that we bought from Cody Rumpf here 4 years ago. He was our pick of the bulls in his sale, and then he went on to be the back-to-back grand champion bull at the Nile there a couple years ago. So getting a real good set of calves out of him. This would be a fall born September 4th, 2022 bull. So he's our looker of the fall group, and he's really coming on, good looking bull. But I'll let Cora talk a little bit about what she just went through him last week. So
Yeah, I went down to the feedlot and saw the bulls, and when you get in there with all the bulls, there's like a few that just catch your eye like no other, and this is one of them. This dude's a big boy. He's gonna throw the pounds. He's just a powerhouse. But you also got that cool front end to him, and I think he's just gonna be a really good producer and like make bulls for you and everything like that.
So he, if you look at his pedigree, he's got a lot of Thiel blood on his bottom side with long distance and ledger on the bottom side and Rushmore and ledger on the top side. So
Nice.
a lot of LT blood in there. So
It
with the
looks
good
like-
bounce, good bounce set of numbers.
Looks like to me, with as long as that bull is, he's got a lot of rib shape.
Oh,
He
yeah.
does.
Yeah.
That bull, he's like freakishly long, and sometimes when you get like those extra ribbed cattle and everything, they kind of get like tighter up in their flank and everything. But that's not this case with this bull. He's got his belly was touching the ground. I mean, granted, it was a little muddy, but like he's got it all there and more.
Nice.
So that'd be lot one. Travel
Looks like
agent.
a good place to start.
Yep.
Lot two, Cool Cat.
What a name. See, that's a good name. Easy to spell and easy to pronounce, right? So it's another cheetah son and out of Grand Hills cow that we bought at the dispersal. So what was that? 3 years ago or so, we bought a handful of cows out of there. So this would be a daughter of M6 Cool Rep, who is the sire of our Forest Bull and Bells and Whistles, and out of the LT Ballet cow, which is super popular cow. He got sick. This bull got sick there for a little bit right when we first took him to the bull development yard, and so he got thrown back a little bit. But now he's really starting to crank. He's cranking on. So I think here in the next month or two, he's just going to keep on putting the pounds on.
Yeah.
When I go through the bulls, like I make like little notes in the catalog on each lot and everything. And one of like the main ones with this bull that I put on there is just he's a complete bull. Like he said, he got sick, but he's got all the right parts and pieces, everything you need and want in a bull. When we went to the Grand Hills dispersal, we were really, really, really picky on what heifers that we were wanting to bring back into our program and help get our name out there and produce good cattle. And this cow, I think she was probably one of my top picks for sure. Really happy that we got her, and she's just producing super good.
Yeah. Looks like he's a big scrotal dude too.
Yeah, we will have those measurements next week. So
Yeah.
and then we'll have a supplement sheet up for those. But that is one thing that Cheetah has been throwing is a good scrotal size, and we'll have the carcass data back, or that ultrasound data. I'm sorry, back on
nice.
that also.
Absolutely.
Well, that's lot two.
Let's see. I'll pull up lot three here. Delight Source.
So this is a October born cheetah son out of a M6, the Force daughter, and actually goes back on the bottom side to TR Fire in the Rocks. So who has full sib to Turton? So that Fire in the Rocks bull we'd bought private or through one of the Thomas sales, and boy, I wish I would have used him more because the cows out of him are producers. So you look back in that pedigree, there's Fire on the Rocks, and then a direct out of a direct daughter of M6 the Force. So this guy, he's got a lot of rib extra rib into him. He's just an October calf, but I'll let Cora talk about that one.
Yeah, so going like onto like the dam side and everything, if you look down, it'd be his grandma or whatever, that 1311 cow. That cow is literally a beast. You go out in the field and she's like that big old girl that's just
Milks like a dairy
yeah,
cow.
and she never misses a meal, that's for sure. And this bull's got all of that. When you get behind this bull is where like I fall in love with him. He's just got so much power over his top. He brings it down. He's massive, like through his hip, and he brings it down when he's on the move too. Some of those cattle will try to like get a little bit narrower on the base when they're, even though they're super big topped and everything, but this bull's got all of it, and I really like him. He's a good bull.
Yeah.
Yep. That'll be lot 3.
Lot 3. Lot 4. Carbon time.
So this is out of a first calf heifer. So so this would be a direct son of TR Carbon Copy and out of Miss Moran, who was a G-Wagon daughter. And so he came out easy and just to be a good, you could use him on heifers if you needed. So good Cavanese type of deal. And his mom, well, his grandma's the old Pixie cow. She's probably one of our best producers in our herd. So so his mom is Miss Moran 2131, and then it was out of Asheville Rock 1822, and 1822 produced one of our lead bulls in our pen of 3 last year in Denver. So good set of genetics built in this guy. He's just more of a Cavanese type bull.
Yeah, this is a nice calf. I really like him. That G-Wagon bull, I think he looks a lot like him. That bull is super deep. He's moderate framed, just massive for like how small framed he was and everything, and good boned. And you really like him off of his hip into his hock, and just a good complete bull.
Yep, that was lot 4.
Absolutely. Lot 5. Blue chip.
Blue Chip's another cheetah son with adjusted 205 at 721 out of a 14-year-old cow sired by LT Bluegrass. She's been obviously around here a lot of years and been one of those that just pumps out a good solid calf every year. So, he's got a little more frame than some of the other ones. He's not large frame by any means, but he's the guy that'll put the growth in pounds to at weaning. So he's goes back to some old bloodline on the bottom side to back to that Choice Plus bull. So that's old genetics. But just to be a good guy to put some weight on your cows at weaning.
You're starting to see bluegrass a generation back or even 2 generation back on a lot of these bulls that I've been researching here, or even females. And we've talked before about some of our favorite bulls being a generation or 2 back.
Oh,
and
yeah.
it's definitely starting to show true. Even when we had Dennis Sarienko on, he's like, I love to line up good cow families. When I look for a bull, good cow families. And I think the same could be told about, lining up bull pedigrees, good bulls that have produced and stood the test of time. And, kind of what I think makes a legend of a bull is when you see him back 1 or 2 times,
Exactly.
Yeah, that's when you get to be legendary, I think. So
next level. Yep.
yeah, absolutely. Let's scroll down here a little.
Lot 6.
Mr. Tasman. Ooh, you're getting woofy here.
Yeah. So this is a embryo calf sired by Redemption and out of Berkeley Marie. So this calf is, we had several embryo calves out of this cross. And so the full brother was the one that was grand champion bull at the Nile in the junior division that sold to Glenn Martin of Texas. And then,
which literally I came out of the ring with this bull after the class before even we got picked for champion, and had a lady come up to me and was like, we want this bull. And I looked at her and I was like, he's not for sale.
Everything's for sale.
And my dad
she's
came
still learning.
over. My dad came over and we got to talking and everything. And Glenn, after we got champion and everything, Glenn's like, this is one of the coolest bulls that I've seen in a while. And so the genetics too behind like these calves and everything are insane. They're so cool. I love looking at these cattle.
So this is a full genetic brother to him. This is also of our Pennant 3 heifers at Denver that just won. They're all Berkeley Marie daughters. And so there was 2 carbon copy by Berkeley Marie's and 1 redemption by Berkeley Marie. Our lead heifer was full sib to this one. So there's a lot of consistency in this already. And this is Berkeley Marie's first set of calves. So you can see, they were champion at the Nile and then champion at Denver on the heifer side. So both bulls and heifers have done real well. So this is a full sib.
I really like this bull too. I wish we could keep him to take him to junior nationals just because I think he's that good. And honestly, the picture doesn't do this one justice. Like you go out in the pen and he will catch your eye. He just has that wicked cool head and that front. And he knows he's good too. He's will go and strut his stuff. You can see his little walk that he has. And honestly, I think this one would be really good for if you're wanting to make show calves. Or even just trying to get some pounds on them because they will eat and add that extra weight.
Well, he's got a 928 adjusted 205, so he did grow. So
I'm not so sure you shouldn't add the halter on this one. I'm just saying.
Thank you. That's what I said.
I don't want to stir anything up.
No, don't even. I tried.
Well, we did halter him up because we're halter broken him and his pen mate there, and then
and then I leave for a weekend, come back, and he's not there anymore.
So
like, okay,
things happen. I dialed it down.
Yeah,
no, but that one's a good one.
Yeah, that's lot 6.
He's got a nice TSI too, actually. For
I have that highlighted too. He has the highest TSI in the sale about all the bulls too.
Nice, yeah. That and I don't know that you need just wild numbers. We kind of talked about this before, where it almost seems like if you got a higher TSI bull sometimes, or a high TSI bull, sometimes them calves mature later. So you got to kind of think about when and where you're selling your calves.
Yep.
If you're selling them as before they're a year old, them high TSI calves, we've seen that with Prestige. They just grow and grow and grow and grow and grow. They don't stop. So sometimes especially if you're looking to sell heifers or show heifers,
right.
And I'm not saying you can't have a high TSI one and do good selling them, but they seem to mature out a little quicker if they're not just crazy high. But
different maturity pattern. Yep.
Well, let's go to lot 7. Wind bent. That was Nebraska 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that was on the way to Denver. But this is a February 23rd bull started by another cheetah son that he's got a 754 adjusted 205, but his mom as a direct daughter of NS SCF all the time. So that's a bull that was out of Allstate and Fargo that we bought. It was a reserve grand champion pen of 3 bulls in Denver probably about 8 years ago. We paid $18,000 for him. So this is out of a direct daughter of that. And this guy's got some pounds of mass to him.
Yeah, he looks chunky.
Oh, this one's a beast. I honestly think he could be one of like the thickest made ones out of the whole sale. He's just that 1510 cow, actually, she's a beast herself. She's more moderate framed, but that thing is as wide as she is tall.
Yeah, she is. Goes back to Rio Bravo on the dam side. So very, very good. That I can guarantee that calf will put some extra weaning weight on his calves. So super long body and got some rib and natural muscling.
And he's wind bent, and he still looks good.
Yep. That's a cool name, wasn't it?
Yeah, he came up
that one's going to go over good. It's either going to go over really good this year with the weather we've had, or really bad. I don't know which way really bad. Lot 8, Mr. Chester,
a March-born cheetah out of Mrs. Force's Fire, M6 Force daughter, and out of the famous Pixie cows. And so this calf is just, he's just got the look. He's got just an awesome profile and super good calf.
Yeah, I really like this calf. Going back to his dam, we actually showed her at the Nile, and then didn't we sell her? This is one of the ones that we kept this one.
Oh yeah, no,
We sold her,
yeah.
and then ended up the family had something like
they moved from Montana to Utah, and
and so we ended up back with her, and I was so excited. I was livid that we sold this cow.
Everything's for sale.
No, and she's just a really good like cowy looking one. We took her, we showed her, and this bull's got that look too. He's really feminine. He's got that cool front. I think he could be a good one.
And he's really starting to come on right now. He was a little later maturing type, but really starting to come on right now. And I think he's gonna be a good one. So that's Chester.
Yeah, it's tough to, when you got March bulls in with fall bulls, and
No, yeah.
But he looks like he'd throw the easy feeding type though.
Oh yeah.
Looking at him, he's definitely, for his age, is starting to show the feed will work with them. So
oh yeah,
he's gonna be a later maturing bull, but he's gonna go far, I feel like.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely. Lot 9, Mr. Jaguar.
So Jaguar is another March calf, March 8th, son of Cheetah, and out of the famous Pixie cow. So this, and I'll let Cora tell the story, but he's got an 835 adjusted 205, and I put in the footnotes, and I mean this, if he wasn't related to about everything at our place, he's got 4 maternal sibs, included one in lot 8 that I would use him. He's just that type of bull. He's got the extra rib and hip, and his mom has produced more champions for us than probably any other cow. But go ahead, Cora. You can tell the Pixie story. So
yeah, this one I really messed up on. I'm not gonna lie. But first off, I have wrote down pictures don't do this bull justice. Like when you get in with this bull and just see him on the move and in person, he's insanely good. Like he said, if he wasn't related to everything, he'd definitely be staying at the place. But so this Pixie cow, I actually owned, and I loved her, showed her. Actually, there's didn't get to take her to as many shows and everything, so we were trying to promote some other heifers, which we should have taken her because she was that good. Don't really know what I was thinking, but I ended up selling her to my dad, and I don't even know. She produced 1 or 2 calves and wasn't really what I was looking for. Just no, I think I'm gonna pass on her. And he was like, okay, well, I'm buying her. And I was like, why would you do that? Well, he buys her. Every year since he's bought her, she's got something that's produced, and it makes me so mad. Every time she calves, I can't even look at the calf because I'm like, you got to be kidding me. This thing's going to be good. So and I got screwed over for
3 years in a row. We had calf champion at the Nile, daughters out of her.
Yeah, it's absolutely ridiculous. Yeah, I should get a commission for letting you buy this heifer.
Well, you messed up, but
I was gonna say the life lessons you maybe are learning from this should be enough.
Yeah.
Well, it's happened to me twice now, and so nothing ever gets sold back to him. It's going off the place.
So
you can't even see your mistakes.
Yes, it makes me so mad. I can't do it.
So this cow, and she's a 14 months, so she'd be 10 years old. A daughter Fire the Rocks.
She's insane.
Fire the Rocks, again, is full sib to Turton. This one by pedigree is PA free. We are getting some tests back, but this one is PA free.
And that cow is just as wide as she is tall.
Oh, yeah. She's a tank.
You can tell she has this. Her face is so cute, but you go out in the field and she's just sitting there staring at you, and big old fluffy ears and everything. And
you can pick her out.
Oh yeah.
Pixie. So there's a direct daughter, her son of Pixie.
This could have been the 3rd bull that you should have had your halter on, but hey,
we could have had a pen of 3, huh?
Yep.
I'm not rubbing it in. I'm just stating what I think.
You're gonna start a war again.
Well, I'm glad we didn't. I'm glad we didn't have another pen of 3 hit this year with the weather, but he could have.
Yeah. Let's go to lot 10.
Lot 10.
Mr. Foxman.
God, these are cool names. Anyway, here's a
We need to fire our name.
here's a March 8th son of Cheetah with the 830 adjusted 205. Another out of the Force daughter. And if you look back on, there we go back to the Fire in the Rocks on the bottom side, and that Fire Delight again. So here's a real easygoing Cavanese type of bull.
Yeah, I have wrote down like this thing's gonna add some pounds. He's just a big boy. You can see in the video how deep he is. I love him off of his hip. He's just super good on the move. I think he's just gonna be a good solid bull for you if you want to add some pounds and all that.
Yeah, he's in the top 15% for his weaning weight, and top 20% for yearling weight.
Yeah, you can see how wide he is in that.
Oh,
From
yeah.
hooks to pins, you could just see it. I mean, it's hard to see that sometimes in a video, but
Yeah,
he definitely got some badonkadonk on him for sure.
yeah. And he's again a March 8th bull. We'll have weights next week, but he'll be pushing 1,300. So
Wow.
And that Fire in the Rocks, his mom goes back to it and everything. So I honestly think that if the Fire in the Rocks is in the pedigree, like they're gonna do something cool for you.
Yep.
Yeah, big old beef kind of bull there.
Yeah.
All right, let me scroll down to lot 11. Ooh, this is like a Nebraska name, Rock Wagon.
So usually we don't keep this young of bulls, him and the next one, but they were good enough that we had to, because the next two lots were all mothers to the bulls that we had in our pen of 3 bulls last year. So this one was born March 23rd, a direct son of G-Wagon, and then out of Ashford Rock, which goes back to the Pixie cow again, if you look on the downside.
So dumb.
So lessons learned.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So this one, you just give him a little time because he's a youngster, but he's got a 740 adjusted 205, but he's just going to be he's got super huge scrotal. I'm actually may be amazed to see what it is, but I do see he's in the top 25% of that too. So excited for what this one's going to turn into.
Yeah, no, this is a good calf. Obviously goes back to that Pixie cow. Those genetics, honestly, they have not missed for us. You can tell how many of the females we've kept and what they're all producing. They're just good, solid cows in the genetics. And with that G-Wagon bull, he's definitely going to have the depth and the pounds that you want to put on them.
Yep, you'll be a power one.
Now, you said not missed for us, but I do believe it missed for you. But for your dad, it's not missing. Not to rub salt on the wound.
That was probably one of the biggest mistakes I've ever made, I'm pretty sure. I could be like a millionaire by now.
It's all good.
As long as you learn from them, as long as you learn.
That's why nothing can be sold now.
There was a Pixie daughter that we sold online for 10,000 here several years ago. So
yeah, and there's another one I'm saying I missed out on.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Well, lot 12.
Lot 12. So he's a young April bull, really young. I should probably hold him over, but he's a G-Wagon son out of another Force daughter that is just absolutely, his mom is absolutely gorgeous. So just give this guy some time and he's going to be a dinger. So
yeah, the mom produced our leadoff bull in Denver. And if you guys ever go back on our Facebook page and go look at this bull, because he was insanely good, had hair for days, just a really solid bull. And just give this one time. Like, honestly, if when he's going to be a later maturing one, and I honestly personally like the later maturing ones. I feel like they just kind of develop more into the breeding aspect of it. And I know the show world, you kind of want them earlier maturing, so then they hit those shows and everything. But on like a producing side, I think this one's going to be real good.
His mom is probably one of the prettiest cows out here.
Oh, so, yes, for sure.
Goes back to an old Thomas Ranch cow we bought out there. Dispersal, I guess you'd call it. But again, that M6 the Force in there, who's, just in case people don't know, M6 the Force was full brothers of Bells and Whistles, and we bought him from the M6 Ranch for $23,000 here a few years back, and he's done a real good job for our program.
Yeah. I never discount them younger bulls because I got a customer that he'll buy, most of the time he'll buy at least one younger bull like this to run with a little older age bull. But he always tells me, he goes, yeah, when I bought that little bull, he goes, kind of, but he goes, when it's hot out in the summertime, he's the only one following the cows. And I'm like, well,
Nope.
they're a little more youthful sometimes, and they kind of wait for the bigger bulls to be done, and then they go to town. So a little more firepower in the later months, I guess, on some of these younger bulls, for sure.
Yep.
So
He's coming along, and we do offer free feed till March 15th on these guys. So at the bull development yard. So we'll just let them sit down there and develop. But if you need them before then, we can ship them before then. But we do have a special lot that we decided to add last minute.
Lot 13.
So we dug
Miss
into our
BM Tierra. I got to hear this one.
Tierra. So we decided to, after Denver, we had obviously a lot of interest in our heifers out of Berkeley Marie. And so we had this gal in the pen. She hadn't been pushed at all, like, along with the other ones. But so this is a full sib to 2 of the heifers we had in our champion pen of 3 heifers in the Denver Stock Show. So this is a Berkeley Marie by carbon copy. So
yeah, I really like this heifer. I was out looking at her the other day, and honestly, she's just a complete one. She obviously didn't get pushed. She's just been in our replacement heifer's pen, but she hasn't been pushed like those other Berkeleys. But I feel like if you really push this one, you can hit those bigger shows when she's going to be a little bit older and do real nice. You got to love her over her top and down on her hip and everything like that. Those Berkeleys, they're amazing heifers. I absolutely love them. You can't really find a hole in them. They're just so complete.
Yeah, it looks like she's got that same soft hair. I mean,
what
little bit you could see, but I remember Berkeley Marie had really soft, nice hair.
And when we were clipping, we literally, my dad told me, he goes, okay, we're going to throw this one in. So we just clipped her real fast. It was dumping rain, by the way, and videoed her. But when you get this one's hair worked and everything like that, she's going to be so good. I really like her a lot.
Well,
yeah, it looks like you won't have to spend a lot feeding her. She's just a good old cowy, easy doing thing. I got a question. I see one dog in the background in this video, but is that a goat?
No, that's
or is that another dog?
That's my border collie that's laying down.
Yeah, there's no goats on our place.
No, those things would get
I
shot.
thought you were a goat roper.
Yeah,
goats and chickens, those things would get shot.
Yeah.
And then you eat them or what?
No, I hate chickens. Ask him. He came home. He got bored dropping off bulls a couple years ago and got a bunch of chicks and everything.
I had to have something to talk to on the way home.
Yeah, those things went missing within a couple weeks.
So, yep, that is lot 13. So that's lots we have, which will sell Friday, February 16th on DV auction, or give us a call for any questions. And don't be afraid about shipping. Shipping's easy. So. And we will be running trailers around also. So for delivery, I don't think I can offer anything more on the bull sale. So come out. We're going to have a tri-tip lunch. And you know what? Then there's the after party. It might just get a little bit nutty on the after everything's cleaned out in our barn, and
the bar is set up.
The bar is set up.
I'd assume on a couple of them younger ones, if somebody wanted new videos when you guys get them at home, you could probably get them a quick cell phone video or something just to see how they progressed. Or even that heifer. I know you can never look at too many videos of heifers when you're buying, especially if you don't get to see them firsthand. But I mean, that heifer, the way her genetics are lined up, and I mean, hell, we've seen 2 full sibs. Definitely did not get beat in Denver. We'll say that. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, and I'm going to head down to the sale or down to the feedlot before the sale too, before we even pick them up. So you can always just reach out if you want some more videos, and we're going to probably do a little bit of promo videos, so keep an eye out for those.
Nice.
So with that, wraps up our sale, and that very much wraps up this episode. So